Hey everybody, Johnny Lazer here, and my videos on the glasses, people really like that, so let's do a few more. Today we're going to be doing a wine glass, and I've already painted it black, 2 even coats of black chalk paint. Now this will create the frosted areas. It's a good size wine glass, and we're going to also do a jar, little candy jar, nice lid, and I've already painted this one in 2 coats of black chalk paint as well for the frosted area. Alright, so we're going to set those up and we're going to do some programming. Join us. Okay everybody, I've picked up the top of my glass. The green represents the center line. Now, once you pick up the top of your glass, that automatically sets your center line. Until then, your center line can be anywhere. Just FYI. Now, I go over here to my layers down at the bottom of the left, and I've marked my layers. My blue is the diameter of my glass or circumference plus the length. And I'm going to be, my red is my frosted area. Turn that on. It's going to be a heart with a rectangular through it. And the black is going to be for the white chalk paint. It's going to represent the lettering. For right now, I'm going to be doing the frosted outline. I have everything on ignore except the, oh no, I do have that on, let's put that on output score. Alright, now we're going to score that, and we're going to use 50% power with a speed of 65. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to frame that and check it out. So let's frame that and see how it looks. Not bad. All right. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to score it to see how it looks. And then I'm going to frost it. So let us score it. That came out good. So now I'm going to go over here and change from score to engrave. So now I'm going to go over here and change from score to engrave. Now, I don't know why that one came up. Let us investigate. Everything's on ignore, yeah, except this one here. Okay. It's showing me all the engrave. So here we're going to go to glass, black. We're going to engrave it at 50 power, 65 speed, and I'm going to do 2 passes because I found out that comes out really nice. Alright. And we'll frame it in again and make sure everything's good, still good. Alright, and let's process that. Looks good. And let us hit go. All right, and let's process that. Looks good. And let us hit go.
Could be described as similar to Atlantic City. The pilots create a map on any available flight line. The mapping operations are predictably chaotic and dangerous. For 2 hours, the exhausted and tense naval aviators do their best to make it back without incident. Most manage to land successfully, but not all. Some pilots fail to catch the arresting wires and crash into parked aircraft, forcing the carrying deck crews to shut the wreckage overboard. Despite the measures taken to get every aircraft home, 80 of the 240 American aircraft are lost in the landing operations, with most reaching the sea. By 12:50 a.m., the last American aircraft lands, while destroyers initiate search and rescue. By the time the sun rises, the Japanese fleet has left the area, while Admiral Squirrels orders Task Force 58 to return to Saipan to support the invasion. Along with search aircraft, destroyers will spend the following days looking for downed pilots, rescuing most of them. The Battle of the Philippine Sea, the longest carrier battle in history, represents an incomplete victory for the United States. The Japanese have suffered 3,000 dead versus 109 Americans, but the Imperial Japanese Navy has managed to escape most of the attack. However, the same cannot be said for the once powerful Japanese naval aviation army. Admiral Lazer retreats with just 35 aircraft left out of his original strength of 450, and although 6 of the 9 carriers have survived the battle, the losses inflicted in the skies over the Philippine Sea have essentially wiped out the last of Japan's trained pilots. Along with land-based airways, between 550 and 645 Japanese aircraft have been destroyed in the battle. Admiral Squirrels is heavily criticized by many officers for not pursuing the wounded Japanese fleet, with some even calling for him to be relieved of command. Backed by overwhelming air power, US Marines and Army units will secure most of the Mariana Islands by September of 1944. Following the fall of the Marianas, the United States then sets its sights on recapturing the Philippines and fulfilling General Douglas MacArthur's promise to return. It is here that the Imperial Japanese Navy will make its final stand.
Well, that came out very nicely. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to remove it, clean it up, and put the white paint on there. Alright, let's do that. Alright, I cleaned up the area on my glass here. Now, all I did was clean up the frosted area because that is where the white chalk paint and titanium dioxide is going to be applied. I don't have to clean off the whole thing. So that'll leave me a little area of where I'm using the point of the heart here as my pickup. So I know where to center the glass. I center the center line between here and here, it's horizontal, and then I pick up this point, and that is where I pick it up for the black lettering. So a lot of people are asking me how I'm mixing this. Basically what I'm doing is about a 3/4 teaspoon of titanium dioxide with 2 teaspoons of white chalk paint and about 3 to 4 drops of water just to thin it out a bit, and about 2 to 3 drops of food coloring just so I can see the difference in color. It doesn't have to be bright white. Now every time before I use it, mix it up really good, because the titanium dioxide does not dissolve in the solution like a lot of people think. It is only suspended. Now that's unusual, I don't know why, but we will mix this up really good. As you can see, I'm mixing it up real good. Put this in here so I don't... Another good thing to get. Popsicle sticks. Excellent for mixing. Get them at the craft store. Now, I will use a little bit of the paint here. And I would be doing this in 2 coats, nice and even. Now, as you can see, it's a nice thin coat. I'm trying to get using, I put a horizontally, I put the paint on, and then I go vertically with barely no pressure on the brush, just to eliminate all the lines, and then I can see in the light it's going to need a second coat. Okay, so we'll let that dry, clean off our brush, and we'll come back when it's dry. Okay, now I'm ready to go with the black lettering. So what I'm going to do here is get out of the processing screen. I am going to click my engrave here that I did the heart, and I'm going to switch the output to off, and I'm going to put it on score so I can see it better. I can see the outline. I will go now to my engrave, turn the output on, and I'll put that on score. And then we will frame this in and begin cutting it, engraving it, sorry. Alrighty, I've put my second coat of white paint on the glass. I've put the glass back in the rotary unit. Now, to align everything back up again, a lot of people don't realize. Alright, let me just show you here. Now I'll be switching back and forth to the program so you can see. In the program, you have a green line in the middle of your project. That represents the green line, the center horizontal line. But we have to realign everything again. So I picked up my center line with my green laser here. I've picked up my center line. You can see the green laser here. Now, I have to transfer that green line onto the program. Now, that happens when you pick up the top surface. Okay? So, we pick up the top surface. Let me move that over a bit horizontally to where it was before. Now, when I pick up the top surface, Now, that center line, after I've picked up the top surface, that center line is now transferred into the program. All right? So we have our center line. We know where the center line is. Now, as we look into the program, we have to find the top of the heart, the convergence there. And I found, I take my flashlight here, by putting it inside here, I can see the very front. There we go. And that should match up with my program. If I zoom in, I'm pretty right at that point. So now I can go ahead and I'm going to score the lettering before engraving. Let us do that. Go over here to my letters. I have it on score. That's good. The outside I've got ignored. Everything else is ignored. Let us frame that in. Not bad, not bad. Let us score it now. All right. Now I've got that scored around. Let me just, I can use my flashlight again. Oh yeah, that looks good. And over there looks good. All right. Let us engrave it. We will switch over to engrave. I will engrave also the grapes in the center. We'll frame it in just to see what it's like. All right. And now we'll engrave it. And off we go. Now, she came out pretty nice. Chris's wine. Now we're going to go wash this off and we'll see what we have. Looks pretty nice. Might be a little not quite as dark as I think, but we'll check it out, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bucket of water, some warm water, and let this soak for a while. That way it washes off a lot easier. And in the meantime, we're going to set up the candy jar and see how that goes. All right? Stay tuned. Okay, so now we're going to proceed with the candy jar. I've taken the measurements of the diameter and the length of how much I want to engrave, so I know my area of what to engrave. I've inputted that, and I'm going to do the programming, and I've set up the jar already into the rotary tool. So let me show you the programming and then we'll look at the jar, okay? Okay, so now we're on to the candy jar. Our candy jar is, first we gotta change this over to Chuck. We have to put in our diameter. Diameter of the jar is 3.540. Now, I'm going to switch this over to perimeter. So I know my length. I will create a rectangle. And then I will click off the unlock. Change the rectangle. I know it's 3.5 wide. And by looking at the parameter here, or circumference I should say, 11.118. All right. Move that to its own level. There we go. Now I'm going to turn off the output because I don't want to output that. But I will turn on my frost level and my black lettering. I'll lock my jar area so I don't move it. Turn off the lettering here. Turn off the layers, I should say. Now, let me take this, rotate it 90 degrees. And let me shrink this a little bit. All right, now I'm going to move it into the center here. There we go. And I will save it. As Emma's candy dish. All right, now I'm going to go and set up my jar into the rotary chuck, and we'll take it from there. All right, I have the jar set up in the rotary tool. I've got my laser here that identifies the horizontal. Looks pretty good. I'm going to pick up the horizontal axis, the top now. So I'm going to go over here and pick up the top. Now, once I pick up the top, that green line where I picked it up will now be put into the programming. So I know where my horizontal is, and I want to see where my top is. My top is going to be right there. Okay? So let me remove this, turn it off, and let us go into the programming aspect. All right, so when I pick up the top, you see this green line right here. This is my horizontal axis now. Now I'm going to align everything with that. I'm going to unlock my rectangle here. And because now I orientated it in the opposite direction, I'm going to turn everything 180 degrees. There we go. Now I want to move. This is my where the X is. So I want to move everything there. So I move the whole thing right to there. Okay, now I want to check. I'm going to move my axis. You'll see the little red pointer come here. I want to move it down to the end here so I see where it's going to end up at. Roughly about there. Well, I want to center it a little bit, so I'm going to split that little distance that I have at the end. I'm going to split that in half. Like that. And then I'm going to move everything back a bit. I want to put that right there. Okay. Now I'm going to move it forward so I can see where the top is going to be. And you see the little red pointer there moving. Back it up a bit. There we go. A little more. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to lock everything. Here we go. And then we're going to frame it in, and we're going to do the yellow square here is going to be frosted. The big area here is the jar. I put that on ignore, so we don't want to do nothing with that. But the yellow area is the frosting area. So let's do that right now. We're going to first go into our lettering here and hit ignore. Change it to score, but I'm going to hit ignore so we don't do nothing there. So all we're going to do is the frosted area. I got the frosted area turned on. I'm going to click this over to my glass black score so we can see what it looks like. And now we're going to frame it in. Let's frame it. Okay. Now let us cut it in. Post process. Close the top. Turn on the and we're going to start. I'm going to score it first. All right. Now I'm going to change the scoring to engrave. Change my user set here to glass block. And I'm going to do 2 passes so it cleans up nice. And off we go. Hit start. Let's frame it. Okay. Now let us cut it in. Post process. Close the top. Turn on the and we're going to start. I'm going to score it first. All right. Now I'm going to change the scoring to engrave. So my user thing here, it's a glass block. And I'm going to do 2 passes. So it cleans up nice. And off we go. Start. Alright, that came out a beautiful frosted job. Now, what I'm going to do is I am not going to clean this off. I'm going to paint right on the frosted surface, 2 coats, and what I'm going to do is I am going to re-pick it up using the top left hand corner as my pickup and that line as the vertical line. So when I pick up the top, the green line will be there. The green line will be in my program, and I can align everything right with that. Alright, so let's get on that. Okay, for over here, I'm gonna try to do picture in picture. And what I'm gonna be doing is I want to pick up this corner here as my pickup here. So what I'm going to do is put in my laser center, which is the green laser here, the accessory. Pick up the center. Oops, center's a little off. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this so that we're right on the corner. And then I'll measure it. Okay, now that's my corner of my frosted area. My corner of my frosted area, but not here. On the program, I will adjust it and I will move everything so that my corner here lines up with my X. All right. So now that should be perfect. Let's zoom out here, fit it on the screen. Okay, my frosted area is turned off. I don't need that. My black lettering here should be turned on. It's all outputted. I'm going to engrave it. I'm going to score it first. And I'm going to go from 50, I'm going to drop it down just to 10. Just so I know I'm in a good spot. So let's do a frame. We hit frame. Okay. And let us do an engrave. Okay, that came out good. Now we're going to switch over to from score to engrave. All right. And let us do it again. Now, the scoring looked great. Let us engrave it. Okay, for over here, I'm gonna try to do picture in picture. And what I'm going to be doing is I want to pick up this corner here as my pickup here. So what I'm going to do is put in my laser center, which is the green laser here, the accessory. Pick up the center. Oops, center's a little off. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this so that we're right on the corner. And then I'll measure it. Okay, now that's my corner of my frosted area. My corner of my frosted area, but not here. On the program, I will adjust it and I will move everything so that my corner here lines up with my X. Alright, so now that should be perfect. Let's zoom out here, fit it on the screen. Okay, my frosted area is turned off. I don't need that. My black lettering here should be turned on. It's all outputted. I'm going to engrave it. I'm going to score it first, just so I know I'm in a good spot. So let's do a frame. Let me hit frame. Okay. Okay, that came out good. Now we're going to switch over to from score to engrave. Alright. And let's do it again. Now, the scoring looked great. Let us engrave it. Okay. Well, that looked like it came out pretty good. We'll wash it and we'll see how it looks. Be right back. Okay, well, that was a good success. Let's look at the wine glass. Here we have the wine glass. This is Chris's wine, heart with grapes. Came out very nice. And the candy jar. Emma's candy stash. Hands off. Came out beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Alright then. Well, that's another episode of Johnny Lazer and his glasses. I'm enjoying the comments, the likes, the subscribes. This is a phenomenal success. You know, it's doing very well. Now, I made these two for my friend. Late Christmas present. It happens. And yeah, we keep tinkering. Now this I did use my titanium dioxide and white chalk paint. It's much easier. If you notice, on the frosting, I didn't highlight a border around the frosting. I found it stands out good, and it's a lot easier to align the letters on the inside, as is the case with this one as well. I did not outline in black, but you could if you want. A little more difficult, easier chance to something goes wrong, but hey, this is a lot of fun. Okay, till next time, Johnny Lazer. Happy lasering.
That's right.